Okay, you're good.
Alright, sweet. So, before I start introducing this guy, Rick, we have a tradition here.
Yes.
Now, here in this back room, it's a whole nother zip code back there, but if I can get you to go all the way to the back, and I think it's a little bit cooler back there also, Rick, so it'll be okay. So, today, our guest speaker comes all the way from Rockland, California, so he drives away. Rick has been a regular attendee at the San Jose meetings for the last 2 months. I believe he's been coming just about every Wednesday. That's a great way to travel, and I appreciate it. I learned a lot from Rick. Also his evil. There I go again, you know, right? His partner in crime, which comes Rick Amita, travels all the way from Out Grove to be here because they see the value of this group. Rick, yes, he's spoken at all events. Every time he speaks, everybody goes home with a lot of nuggets. So how many brought paper and pen with you today? If you don't, maybe you can ask your neighbor to let you borrow some, because you're going to take home some great nuggets at the beginning of this year. So, Rick Zeller is a distributor with MonaVie. He has personal and tremendous success with this product. And he is going to talk to us today about, are you ready for it? It's going to hit you. What's holding you back from hitting your 2012 goals? Let's get rid of those issues right now. So if I can get everyone to stand up and get as loud as you can for the great, the wonderful,
speak a second time someplace. You know, it's funny because we're here, we're at a pretty nice restaurant, and the leadership of this group are talking about rodents. Makes you wonder, what are you guys having to eat today?
We're clean, by the way.
Huh?
We're clean, by the way. We're clean rodents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I even get into what I was going to talk about, I wanted to touch on something that Eric spoke about, and that's the helping out, the ambassadorship here. I've been involved with other groups. I have to tell you that, first off, they're not looking for somebody to do everything. They're looking for somebody to participate. And when you participate, you give back, talk about paying it forward. What happens is you get a lot of awareness. People start knowing who you are. I mean, there are other groups in Sacramento and Central Valley where I can walk into any group in Central Valley, and even if they don't know me personally, if somebody mentions my name, they know who I am because of my involvement with some of these other groups. So it's really important. If you want your business to move forward, get involved. So that's my paid political thing. Now, my topic today is we're going to talk about how to move your year forward, because we're into a new year. A lot of people have immense hope for this year. I was assured by the leadership that because the group is so professional that I didn't have to discuss writing down your goals, because I know everybody here has already done their goals for 2012. A lot of you have expressed to me that 2011 was not a good year, and you have lots of hope for 2012. I have to tell you personally, 2011 was one of my best years ever, both personally and financially. And I think a lot of it has to do with state of mind, and I think a lot of it has to do with some of the other things we're going to talk about today. And one of them is, I'm going to touch on goals. If you haven't done your goals, you've got to do them. If you've done them, and you've heard me, if you've come to these meetings before, you've heard me talk about it. Change your way of looking at things from an annual goal, because the odds are, anything you set today, the year's going to change your goal between now and December 31st. Take a look at your goals and put them in 90-day increments, you can change your life in 90 days. You're sick and tired of hearing this. You can change your life in 90 days. Joyce and I, my wife and I, so that you don't know that Nina and I are not married. Joyce and I do our goals. We did them 2 weeks ago, and we do everything in a 90-day increment. We don't even do an annual goal because our wants and desires change over the course of the year. We have 9 grandkids. That changes, you know. It's like there's always a need, you know. So we do them on 90-day increments, and that way we can affect a change for June in the end of March. We don't have to look at it and go, wow, we failed here or whatever. The other thing is that my suggestion is that you take a look at your goals, because if you look at last year's goals, I had somebody yesterday, I spoke yesterday, and somebody came up to me and said, well, I hit all but 2 of my goals. I said, well, how many goals did you have? They said, well, we had 20 goals, and we hit all but 2 of them. And I said, wow, guess what? You need to be harder on yourself. You need better goals. If you're hitting all your goals, you're doing something wrong. You know? And the other thing is, if there were not only your goals, but your dream, if you can accomplish your dream by yourself, your dream is too small. And I don't care, I'm not talking about being in network marketing. I'm talking about just in your business. I don't care if it's brick and mortar. It doesn't matter. If you can accomplish your goal by yourself, your dream is too small. It needs to be something that a team, a mastermind or whatever, gets you to that place. And so take a hard look at that. That isn't my topic today, so now I'll get to my topic. Okay. Reasons for failure. I'm going to go through, I'm going to read off and discuss some reasons why we fail. I'm not going to concentrate on the things that we do right. Today we're going to concentrate on the things we do wrong. This is assuming I can find them. So I don't have a committee member. Here we go. So, problem areas. Reasons for failure. And what I'd like you to do, take out a piece of paper. You know what? You're going to want to write this down, because we're going to do a little exercise at the end. And trust me when I tell you this, if you don't write this down, you're going to wish you had. So the ones that are you, I mean, you're not going to have all of them. So the ones that are you, write them down, and we're going to discuss them a little bit. Okay? The over-preparer. That's the person that has to do everything so perfectly that they have to get their plan out absolutely word for word before they even move forward. They tend to procrastinate and use over-preparing as an excuse. Stage fright. Now, I don't know, we had Lucy, this is the first time she ever used a microphone. And that's great. She had the courage to come up here. Of course, if she had, we would have run her out on a rail car. But she had the courage to come up front. I don't care what business you're in.
We don't give people a choice, Rick, here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You do what we want you to do. I don't care what business you're in, if you learn how to speak in groups, whether it be large or small, it will move your business forward. And so some of you are holding back because you're afraid. I mean, the last survey I saw showed that people would rather be in the coffin than give the eulogy. And that's sad, but it is human nature. Learn to take risk and do some speaking. It will pay huge dividends. Afraid to market upscale. I happen to be in the network marketing business. And when I bring in a new distributor, and they are a 7 on the social economic scale, they want to go right for the 2s and 3s because they feel comfortable going beneath them on that scale. Okay. That doesn't work. Okay. I don't care what business you're in, you want upper scale clientele. And you're not going to get that by going beneath you. So you want to go ahead and take a look at who you're talking to. And make sure they are upscale. Market to friends and family. You know, I can't tell you how many times I hear how, I don't want to talk to my family or friends about it. Well, are you embarrassed? And if you are, then do something else. Your friends and family are there to support you. If they're not, you can't do anything about your family, but you can certainly do something about your friends. You know, so find people that will support you. Referral challenge. I do a lot of presentations, and guess what? Everyone that I make a presentation to does not join my organization. But that doesn't mean that I can't ask them for a referral. You know, I don't have a problem asking people to refer us. And, you know, I don't care, you know, if Warren doesn't need what I have. He knows somebody that does. And so ask him. You know, the worst that can happen is he says no. Then we run him out in a rail car. Telephobia. Now, I don't know how many of you share that. I have this problem. This is a huge problem for me. When I get up in the morning and I have to go to the phone, that phone weighs 500 pounds. And to get me started, I have two vision boards. I have one by my computer and I have one in my appointment board. And I have to look at that sometimes, just to be able to look at the phone and remind myself why I'm doing this. Because I'm just like everyone else. I do not like rejection. I do not want to be avoided. I do not want people to tell me they're not interested or they don't like what I have. And so the telephone's a hard one for me. Low self-esteem. Well, you know if you have it or not. You know, you may not be honest with yourself, but you know if you have it or not. There are ways to get around that. What you read, what you watch, what you listen to. If you have a CD player in your car, you should have something positive being played at all times. My wife and I, 2 years ago, we decided we wanted to stop deluding ourselves with outside negative influence. And some of our friends thought we were really whack jobs, but we had TV yanked out. It's been 2.5 years. The only thing I miss is occasionally I miss a ball game. And there are sports bars for that. So, you know, I do a lot of reading. If I want a movie, I can watch it on my computer. But I just do not watch TV. And it's been a blessing for me. It's given me a lot more time. Limiting beliefs. Once again, what are you reading? You know, there are incredible books out there. I'm not here to promote anybody's books, and I didn't write one, so I'm not promoting mine. But you'll limit your beliefs, and you have to have belief not only in yourself, but your industry, your company, and your products. There's 4 things you have to believe in to be successful at whatever you do. And if you don't believe in all 4 of them, you won't be successful. Usually, we have belief in our industry and our company and our products long before we have belief in our own ability to do it. But you have to have all 4 of those things going for you, or you're just not going to get where you want to go. Lack of focus. All you had enough focus to be here today. That's good. There are at least 15 or 20 people I know that probably wanted to be here today that are usually here that are not here today. They were focusing on something else, something not promoting their business. Promoting your business and promoting your life and your lifestyle is a full-time gig. And if you think it's not, then you're not going to achieve the success that you want to achieve. Lack of a positive influence or influences. Boy, we can go right back to what you read and what you watch and who you hang with. One of the things I love about the people that I associate with is that they're extremely positive. You know, I've gotten to a point in my business where if you're not a positive person, then I don't care how badly you want what I have, I'll refer you to somebody else because I don't need any negativity in my life. There are friends that I see on a limited basis now because I realize how negative they are. There's family that I talk to on a limited basis because they are so terribly negative and they bring me down so much. And it's my job, not only in business, I'm not talking about just business, but it's my job with my wife. And between us we have 4 grown children, and we have 9 grandchildren. It's my job to be a positive role model for every one of those people. And I can't do that. I can't be a positive role model when I hang around negative people. So I really concentrate on hanging with people that uplift me and what I'm doing, and I can do the same for them. And when I leave there, I feel fulfilled rather than wanting or questioning. Failure to follow up is probably the most significant item on it. I worked for a very large direct mail company. In fact, years and years ago, I worked for the largest direct mail company in the world. And we have, well, at that time there were like 80 branch offices. I don't know what they do now, but people don't keep on like they used to. Now it's all electronic. But, they had a branch in Dallas. Sales were down. So they took the whole customer service department from another branch and shipped them there for 2 weeks. And these people made calls and visits to every customer that had not done business there in the last 5 years. I mean, it was like 2,500 customers. And 40% of all the people that had not renewed business, when they give them the choices of reasons as to why not, the reason they didn't was because no one called on them. I mean, think about that. So, do you have people that you made a presentation to, or you promised to get back to, and you made a decision for them? You decided not to call them. Oh, they wouldn't be interested. You know, the worst thing that can happen in my business is going to a big meeting and see somebody there with somebody else that I made a presentation to. Make sure you do the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Failure to persist through difficult times. Well, you know, granted, this last year for a lot of people was a difficult time. And yet all of you happen to be here today. So all you persisted. Now, maybe today's your first day on your new business. Maybe you didn't all persist. But most of you persisted through a really tough year last year. A lot of people tend to shrink during tough times. They start going through the motions, but they're not really exerting themselves because they're feeling like things aren't going to work out. Part of the economy's issues right now aren't the lack of money. I mean, there's plenty of money. But, you know, in this state, we have approximately 10% unemployment that's reported. And we have about 10% where people just aren't getting anymore or stop looking for a job. So we sit where we have 20% unemployment, really. That means 80% of the population is still working. Most of them are still working at jobs they've had for 3 years or more. Most of them make more today than they did 3 years ago. Yet, they would tell you that they're saving money for slack times. It's a mental attitude. Now, you can't change their attitude, but you can change yours. And if you change yours, it will change people around you and people you're doing business with. Operating in scarcity kind of leads into that, doesn't it? Operating in scarcity. If you decide that you have to operate on, and even though I'm assuming that you have the resources, but you decide to cut back to the place where it appears to you and everybody else that you are coming from a place of not having, that whole persona, it just emanates from you. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy a Lamborghini if you can't afford one or don't want one. But what I am saying is, you know, don't live in fear of not having. Now, the flip side of that is, how do you feel, how full of gratitude are you? Okay? They kind of go together. So maybe you don't have everything you want to have, but are you living in a place of gratitude for what you do have? Now, it's a spiritual law. For me, you know, I get up every morning and I have a devotional that I read. I read the Bible every morning, and I read something that's going to bring me up another book every morning. And I start the day full of gratitude, no matter how I went to bed, because, sometimes life beats me up. Sometimes I go to bed and I'm not feeling all that love, all that gratitude. Right now, for the next week or two, I have my brother-in-law, Billy Driver, from Atlanta, Georgia, living with us. He comes every year at this time. And I'm going to have a lot of gratitude next Monday. My wife is going to come here today and listen to me speak, and she was going to bring Billy. And I'm glad I'm here by myself. So I'm grateful. But, I wake up every morning, and sometimes there are days I have to find something to be grateful for. But God is not going to reward you for not being grateful for what you already have. So get over yourself and get into being grateful. Lack of faith. Faith is spiritual. And I don't care, I'm not telling you you have to worship my God. I'm telling you faith is spiritual. And if you really have faith, if you move on faith, there's two parts of that. You can believe all you want to. If you don't act, forget about it. You have to be able to move in faith. If you want something, when you believe that it's going to happen, you still have to take that step towards it. Because if you don't, it's not going to get there. Sometimes when you're in all this other stuff, it's hard to make that step. And then lack of planning and goals. Now, 97% of the population does not do written goals. That means 3% does. And of that 3%, I don't know what the percentage of people that actually review their goals daily is. But I'm willing to bet you less than a third. That means that maybe half of you, one of you maybe, actually has written their goals and will review them every day. And seeing as I do, the odds of anyone else doing it here isn't very good. But you're all focused business people. And so my guess is that you're doing that. If you're not, you want to. And you're going to start tomorrow morning. And that's great. But lack of planning and doing your goals is one of the biggest reasons that people fail. So those are some of the things that are holding you back. So now what? Now we got the things that are holding you back. Let's see. What are we going to do with those? I want you to take a look at your... is there anything else? Something I missed that should be on this list?
Fear.
Okay. Fear, and I think you could probably find a place in there that probably attaches to 5 or 6 of those, but certainly fear, sometimes it's fear of success, sometimes it's fear of failure. For me, the color reluctance that I experience with the phone is clearly fear. And I have to motivate myself to get involved with my phone because I do not want to pick it up. And there's a reason. I'm fearful of what's going to happen when I pick it up. It doesn't stop me from doing it because I have big reasons to pick it up. I have 9 grandkids that all have needs. So that's what motivates me. But every one of you has another reason, reasons if you don't have. Then you need to find it. I'm not here to, that's a different topic, but in our business, the expression is, your why should make you cry. And if you can't get passionate about what you're doing and why you're doing it, then find a reason. Because Goofy, I have a picture of Goofy. Disney's Goofy.
Yeah.
Because this coming year, the plan is to, now, we're going to take 9 grandkids to Disneyland. I don't really care if my kids come or not. The grandkids are going. And they live all over the place, so it's going to be quite an expensive deal. So every time I don't want to pick up that phone, I look at my picture of Goofy, and I pick up the phone. That's what drives me. So you can say, you listen to a guy, and he was pretty goofy. Okay, so take a look at your list. If you have 5 or more, I want you to take a look at the list and asterisk the 5 biggest problem areas for you right now. Take a look at it. When you're done doing that, just look up here and I'll know I can move on. Some of you have so many areas that... Yes.
My biggest problem is I need an assistant and I can't hire them right now. So I'm just trying to get things done. But I'm doing all these things, so that's my biggest problem. I need a $10 an hour person.
Well, maybe finding a virtual assistant you can work with on a part-time basis might be an answer. And then I bet you there's somebody in here that can refer you to somebody.
I bet there is.
Okay, so you've got your 5 biggest reasons, the things that are holding you back, okay? So now this is what I like to do, and it's a very lit area, so hopefully you'll experience this the way I want you to. But I want you to take a hard look at those 5, and I want you to really know what they are. And as soon as you really know what they are, I want you to just close your eyes, and I want you to try and relax and think about those 5 things. It's kind of hard to think about 5 things that are holding you back and relax, but I want you to think about those 5 things that are holding you back, and I want you to think about the goals that you have for this year. Goals that you have for this year. And then what I want you to do is I want you to feel what it's going to be like if a year from now those 5 things stop you from getting your goals. If it's a year from now, you did not hit your goals because these 5 things stopped you. Close your eyes, and I want you to feel this. The feeling is so important. So, it's a year from now, and you didn't hit your goals because you let these 5 things stop you. It's 5 years from now. You still haven't hit your goals. And these 5 things are still glaring in your life. Some of us are so old in 10 years we won't be here. But 10 years from now, if you don't resolve these issues, what is your life going to look like if you still have these 5 things going on? Pretty sad story. I want you to feel it. Okay, now you can open your eyes. Now, you've taken those 5 things and you've eliminated them. And before they tell me I have less than 5 minutes left, but we're going to finish up. We're going to destroy these 5 things. But before we do, let's assume that they are already gone. You just destroyed them. You figured out a way to resolve all 5 of those issues. Now I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to see a year from now, you have accomplished all of your goals because you got those 5 things out of your life. I want you to feel how good you feel because you accomplished what you set out to do. Okay, imagine 5 years from now what your life will look like because you took the steps to remove these 5 things holding you back from your life. Imagine where you live, what you drive, where your family, your kids are going to school, because you took care of these 5 things. Okay, are you in touch with the feelings? Okay. So you go ahead and open your eyes. Now that you're in touch with those feelings, you can feel, you go back anytime you want to, and you can feel how bad you felt because you didn't hit them. I went through this exercise a couple of years ago. I can still close my eyes right now and go back to that feeling. I also can feel how good I feel when I hit my goals. So you have the ability to go back and forth between them. Okay, now I want you to put smiles on your face, and I want you to feel terrific because you're going to destroy those 5 things right now. Now what we're going to do, because you're going to go home and you're going to change your life, The guys were nice enough to bring in a shredder.
Ooh.
And I want you to come up and I want you to destroy the 5 things that are holding it. Not, don't all get it all one time.
That's a pretty tall order, Rick.
Huh?
That's a pretty tall order.
It worked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna take the tech you got. Put a smile on your face.
Hey, how about you bring the shredder out here? We can see it.
Plug it in.
It's plugged in.
I can't see it.
It's rejecting you, Christy.
Ow!
She's not used to that.
That's right.
It's all good.
Get into the feeling that you destroyed it. Time-wise, you okay?
You have to talk to the cameraman.
Yes, I see.
Got about 5 minutes.
Very good, good, good. Oh, yeah.
5 minutes. Hey, Chris. How you doing, buddy? Happy New Year.
This is very interesting. It's very interactive.
Not in the house.
Talk to Zena. The end of the month, she's going to bring her sausage. It's really hot.
Fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Awesome.
Smiles on your face.
Smile, smile. Yeah, I don't see a smile. There's that just smile, right?
I'm looking at those
Is Rick done?
I see him.
Oh, Rick's